Hey! Hey! This is library.
Good morning, Libby. Hope you're doing well. A couple months ago, I was reading this book called Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. And in it, there's this protagonist who goes to this library. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting was that when he's at this library, he specifically chooses to focus on reading books. And that might seem really obvious, right? Like, what else would you do at a library? But if you really think about it, a library has evolved over the course of hundreds and hundreds of years, right? There used to be scrolls that were written by select people. That was their main job. It took them months to create a manuscript. And now you kind of have, the printing press. You can type stories out. Manufacturers actually, try and sell a product at a right price point so that it can get to the most amount of people. But the interesting thing is that we have video, and yet we are drawn to libraries to go and read books. And when I look back to my childhood, a lot of the times my mom would take me to the public library just on the weekends so that my sisters and I could go out, hang out for a couple hours, read whatever we wanted to read. And I think that was a really, really good environment just to explore your interests. You can do the same thing by Googling or going on TikTok and saying, hey, how do I do this or how do I do that? But I think it's harder to learn something. All the information is there. It's a fucking library. All the information is on the internet. The internet is a library, essentially. But in a way, it's easier to find something out of the blue and really interesting in a library than it is on the internet. Something like the internet, for example, you see 10 things and 8 things are interesting. They're meant to be eye-grabbing, they're meant to be attention-sucking, and they draw you in. Whereas in a library, it's not the purpose to actually grab your attention. The purpose is to share information. And maybe when there was nothing else, maybe when, I was a slave back in Korea tilling the rice fields, maybe a book would have been really, really enticing to me because everything else in my life is really mundane and nothing else gives me excitement. And if I'm able to read, then that's what I'm going to put my time into. Yeah, where am I going with this? But the other interesting thing is that even at a public library, you have archives of, VHS tapes, like CDs, vinyl records. Like, they're all there if you actually go and look for them. But the fact of the matter is that most people actually still go to libraries for books, which have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. So what does the future of libraries look like? I'm not sure, but I think it's already here. And I will be uploading to this library.